Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Spiritual Journey podcast. My name is Nimish Radi and I'm your host. I always love starting every episode by saying thank you. I feel so blessed for this podcast, the people it reaches, the impact it's having. I started this as a passion project, and really my intention was to guide people on their spiritual journey. And I feel blessed that this is what this podcast does. I get messages on a weekly basis to say people find it when they need it most, or the impact it's having on their world. And if so many people say, I feel like I'm talking to them directly, and I love that. So thank you for those messages. Thank you if you're a regular listener. Thank you. Welcome back. If you're new to this podcast, welcome. And let me know if you have any feedback. Feedback's always a blessing. I'm an Akashic record reader, Akashic trainer, podcast host, podcast creator, as well as spiritual coach and mentor. What I get to do is I get to guide people on their spiritual journey. I get to hold your space when you're going through a shift, really getting you to understand who you are. I love what I get to do. I love just, whether I do that through mentorship, whether I do that through Akashic Records. If my voice resonates, please do reach out. Book a free discovery call. I can tell you more about what I do. My voice has an impact on you, then maybe I'm meant to guide you. There's so many things I'm trying to do now to really embrace the current energy. I really feel like we're still going through a phase of completion, and we're getting to a point of new beginnings. So really what I want to do is guide you and hold your space as you're going through a shift. And whether that's through mentorship, I've recently introduced a membership where we connect on a monthly basis, a couple of times a month, and I'll also share energetic updates, and maybe you want to book an Akashic record. I'm also excited. I'm gonna run a retreat solo in March 2020. March 20th, which is spring equinox. I really feel like that's the real New Year. So I'm excited for that. That's where I feel like new beginnings will really kind of, it's an opportunity for us to embrace it. So if any of that resonates, book a free discovery call. I can take you through what I do. And, if we have a soul contract to work together, maybe that's where we explore it. So this is every episode special, but this episode is extra special. It's episode 333. 3 for me is expansion. And, I really do feel like, 3 is communication, connection. And then 4 is expansion. So really, this is an opportunity for me to communicate solo. I really want to talk about what's happening in the current energy, and I feel like what we've been asked to do. I really feel like we're in this phase of just being. A space where the soul stops needs to explaining itself. We've been trained to always feel like we need to work on things. There must be some inner child work, or I'm not saying don't do the healing work. Of course, if there's something that's coming up, there's something triggering you, do the work. But I also feel like we've been asked right now to be present, to if it feels like you're waiting, you're in a holding pattern, then maybe you're supposed to wait. All these things, we've been through so much. We've been through the phase of closing so many cycles. With so many people I talk to, closing so many cycles, maybe ending relationships, ending soul contracts. It's been a ride. And what if this is a phase where you can just be? Yes, it feels intense, 100%. And by the way, I'm going to do supporting meditation with this episode. I haven't done a meditation for a while. And I feel a calling to ask the souliness just to be present. To celebrate this time you chose to be here. And yes, I feel like there's big things coming. So what if this is a calm before the storm? And what if it's okay just to be? What if it's okay to celebrate this time for you? You've been through so much. What if the need for answers, the need for insights, meaning, interpretation, just naturally fall quiet? And we're in this energetic holding pattern, preparing for whatever's coming next. And what if that's okay? we've trained ourselves so much, certainly over the past couple of years, where there's been so much healing, so much ancestral healing, so much personal karma releasing. And with that, we're on edge, right? It's like, what's coming next? And what we've got to be careful of is we don't manifest chaos. What if this is a phase where the soul doesn't need to go through massive growth or change? And what if this is a phase of, what if it's a calm before the storm? And that's really what I feel like it is. And the storm doesn't need to be bad. I feel like new beginnings are coming, and I feel like the new beginnings, the more you fight them, that's where the pain's going to come. So I feel like this is a phase where we're being asked to trust whatever's coming next, and be okay with being present, being kind, being gentle, getting to know this version of yourself. I feel like my message has been consistent with this over the last few months. Yes, we're going through lots of shift, but I feel like there's kind of like a frustration in many of us because we can feel a change coming. We get glimpses of what those changes are. But I don't feel like this is a time for massive action. It's still in January. When I post this, we're still going to be in January. Actually, I'm recording this on the Wednesday, and I'm going to post it tonight so there's very fresh energy. And whenever you listen to it, it's perfect. But be present. Be excited. Be excited what's coming next. Your soul chose to be here. We've gone through, like I said, so much seeking, so much deep work, so much understanding, so much awareness, acceptance. Get to know this new version of you. You've been through so much change, and you almost haven't had time to get to know this version of you. So take time to get to know you. For me, it's a weird phase, right? It's that I still feel very connected to my guides. Whenever I open the records for others and myself, I still feel so much love. Actually, I feel like there's more guides showing up. I feel like there's more ancient ancestors showing up. I feel like the veil's thinner. So our understanding of who we are is deeper. But then when we know there's something big's coming, there's a push for, what are these answers? I need to know what it is. I need to know what it is. But the absence of answers doesn't mean there's something wrong. Doesn't mean you've lost your connection. I had so many conversations I've had recently where people feel like they've lost their connection to their guides, or something's missing, and because we've gone through a phase of so much communication, so much shifting, nothing's missing. Your guides are still there. You don't lose your guides. You don't lose your connection to your guides. Sometimes the human has to go through something, and it feels like you're on your own, but they're still there. They're still working in the background. And I would encourage you this time to build a strong connection with your guides. I feel like this is an opportunity to do that. I feel like this is your training for whatever's coming next. So being present is such a powerful thing to do. What do I mean by being present? Being present, just breathe. What are you feeling in this moment? If you could be grateful for something in this moment, what would that be? If you could just breathe and just feel the magic around you, just accept and allow there is magic around you. What if you just meant to trust? How does that feel like for you? The human mind always wants proof, right? This isn't a time for proof. Yes, I still, I feel like we get lots of messages with magic numbers and, all that sort of stuff. I feel like guys are still communicating with us. But I don't feel like it's a massive time to get lots of answers. It's a time to be present. We'd love to give labels to things, in terms of what this phase is. And sure, calendar-wise, we've just moved into Aquarius and the energy shifting. There's so much planetary shifts right now. This year, everyone 2026 talks about so many planetary shifts, and there is, and also we move into Chinese New Year, the year of the fire horse, on February 17th, which I feel like is going to be another shift. And I was talking about earlier the spring equinox, which is what I feel like is really the new year. That's why I'm doing an event on that day, because I feel like it's really important. And actually, by the way, if you're in the UK, or even if you can travel to the UK, I'd love for you to join me. I'd love for us to, I really feel like we're shifting into a time of community. And we've gone through a phase of doing lots of individual work, feeling lonely, feeling isolated. But I feel like we're moving to an age of community. And this is why I'm doing the event on that day, because I feel like it's such a beautiful time to do it. So if you're in the UK, and I know I'm sidetracking, reach out. I can send you information. I'd love for you to join us. I feel like it's going to be a magical time. I'm looking for it to be a relatively small group. But yeah, please do reach out. But going back to the topic of being present, if you could just take a moment to close your eyes, take a deep breath in and a breath out. Obviously, do this if you can. If you're driving, etc., just listen. And what magic can you feel in this moment? What do you feel around you at this moment? If you could feel magic around you, where do you feel it? Can you feel a tingle? Do you feel hotter, colder? Can you feel the love that's coming from the universe, your guides? And then whenever you're ready, just come back. See, that's such a simple exercise. And I encourage you to do that multiple times a day. Just allow yourself to feel magic. And don't go searching for things. Don't go for searching for answers. And because when you do that, like I said, you might manifest problems. Be present. And obviously, if you are being triggered, no one's in the same space. Everyone's doing things differently. So if you are being triggered, that is an opportunity to heal. But the more you push, because you can feel a shift coming and you really want to know, and, the more I feel you get frustrated. And there is a difference, by the way, between spiritual silence and spiritual avoidance. This is what I'm saying. If you're getting triggered, if there is something coming up, then please do work on it. A lot of the clients I'm working with, there's still stuff to work on. But it's more the acceptance of not having loads of answers, knowing there's a shift coming. Because I feel like a lot of us can feel a shift. Something different is coming. It's almost like you can almost touch it. And you want to know what it is, because the human wants to know. So it's a time to just trust. Trusting the soul, your guides, they love you unconditionally. Trusting them. What if they're doing work in the background that you can't see or feel? If you're not, if your guides are not speaking as much, doesn't mean they're not working on you. What if this is a time for you to find peace? I would encourage you to spend time with yourself, get used to spending time with yourself, getting to know this version of you. Spend time in nature. I know it's cold depending on where you are, but it doesn't mean you can't still step outside. If it's snowing where you are, then appreciate the beauty of what the snow is. I mean, I hear in different parts it's super cold. Obviously, if it's not safe to be outside, then don't be outside. But when you have the opportunity to be outside, to be present, not a great time to be planning long term. Again, this is just my view, right? Whatever your truth is, your truth. But yes, I can relate. This phase can feel unsettling. It can feel like it's unusual because, like I said, we've been through this phase where there's lots of action. And there's a calmness, there's an energy, and there's an intense energy, by the way. So many weird things are happening. And I feel like over the next 12 months, and I did this on an episode near the beginning of the year, where I feel like there's going to be a lot of chaos on the planet. I feel like there's going to be a lot of things, a lot of egos being brought down to, a lot of things happening on the planet. And it's going to be easier to let that noise consume us. I would encourage you not to let that noise consume you. To trust this phase. And if it is unsettling, allow it to be. But spend time in meditation. Spend time in that, like just do that simple process of closing your eyes like I did earlier. Start connecting with the energies and vibrations, having fun. Your connection with your guides is a co-creation. It's a partnership. It's not about always getting the answers. Your guides don't always have the answers because sometimes it's a waiting period for them too. But this is a beautiful opportunity to get to know the vibrations and energies. It's not always about getting names. What do you feel around you? What if you trust whatever you're feeling? And this is a time to just learn to rest in being present, rather than trying to fix everything, trying to find solutions for everything. This is a trustful. You've been asked to have more faith right now than ever before. And it is uncomfortable. And own it. Have an honest conversation with yourself. When I think about this episode 333 and I think about the journey of this podcast and everything I've experienced with you guys jointly over the 5 or so years this podcast has been going, it's magical. But it's been expansive. It's been a ride. I was at a networking event last week and it was beautiful. I met somebody there who, I started the event by doing a grounding. It wasn't my event, but I was asked to do a grounding, so I did a grounding at the beginning. And as soon as I started speaking, she recognized my voice from this podcast, and I was like, "Wow, that just blew my mind." I mean, I guess it shouldn't, but it did. It's that there's almost like there's a part of me that I feel is this person on the podcast. And there's a part of me that's out in the human world. It's all, in some ways, I kind of separate it. But this is what I also feel like is happening, is everything's merging. How we do one thing is how we do everything. I feel like this is a beautiful time. It is I'm very conscious about calling it the storm, but it is the calm before the storm. And I'm smiling to myself because it's that, I don't want to instill fear. And I'm very careful with my words because I do feel like next 12 months, even longer maybe, is going to be chaotic for the planet. So many natural disasters, and I do feel like a lot of people are going to feel pain. But there's me asking you to be calm. It is paradoxical, but at the same time, I feel like it's a choice. Do we focus on the noise on the outside, or do we focus on what we're feeling on the inside and be present in the? Because again, when things are quiet for you spiritually, there is a push to maybe then get consumed by the external. I encourage you not to do that. Again, it's a personal choice. It's a personal preference. I do feel like more and more the message I was getting for this episode, because I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about today until literally 10 minutes before. And I got the feeling that this is how I feel. I feel like we're being asked to be present, to feel our energy, to feel our vibration and be okay with it. You've been through so much. You've closed so many. Why can't you celebrate yourself? Why can't you be grateful for how far you are? I feel like any soul that's here right now, it is a blessing for us. This is the most expansive. We're learning the most as a soul. Is it an expansive life? Is it probably one of the more intense lives? Yeah, for sure. But that's what's happening. The planet's transitioning to such a massive change that it is a blessing. It may not feel like it. It's like if you've been through a painful life, then you're going to sit there wondering, well, why is this such a blessing? It's because your soul's been through so much. It's expanded. It's learned. Everything you've been through painful is because you can handle it and you've grown. And I feel like everything you've gone through in this lifetime is preparing you for what's coming next. So it's like you're training. And you're meant to, you're needed, you're wanted. And this is your time. Those are not just words. I actually feel that. I feel like if you're here and you're listening to this podcast, you're meant to do something different. And you're not meant to fit in. And if you try to fit in all your life and you've struggled, it's because you weren't meant to fit in. So feel that. and allow the universe to hold your space. This is your truth. This is your time. Whatever you feel, honor it. But allow yourself to feel the magic. You've matured so much. You've come so far. And again, I'm sure there's people listening thinking, well, he's not really talking to me. He's talking to somebody else. No, actually, I am talking to you. If you're listening to this, then I'm 100% talking to you. You're a magical being. That your soul has been through so much. You've expanded so much. You've been through so much. Be proud of that. This is a time of allowing life to be lived instead of constantly understood. Why are we trying to understand? Why can't we just be? Be present in whatever you're feeling. If you're experiencing something, be present in it. If you're spending time with somebody, be present in that moment with them. Try active listening. If you're having a conversation with a friend or a colleague, or be present in that conversation. Don't be thinking about how you're going to respond or what this means, or be present, listen. And then when they're finished speaking, then respond, then choose, then channel the message, whatever comes through. It's a magical time. Is it uncomfortable? If I was to be honest with you guys, yes, it's uncomfortable. It's definitely uncomfortable for me. It feels weird. It feels intense. So much is going on. So much is going on with my clients. There's so much is happening. It's like a lot of the stuff with my clients, I normally feel it coming. But recently, a couple of things happened with clients that even I didn't see coming. And it sounds egotistical, but you know what I mean. You get an instinct. Sometimes it's easier to guide other people than to feel it for yourself. You don't have to bring meaning to this phase. You don't have to articulate it. Recognize this phase is a form of spiritual maturity. And like I said, I'm going to add a supporting meditation. But really, my intention with that meditation is actually, I always have an intention. My intention is to guide you to be present, to release anything you're holding on to. But that's my intention. Where they take me, it's very much a guided meditation. You know, wherever I'm meant to be taken, I'll go. But I like recording an episode, a solo episode, especially 333. I mean, such a magical number. I love the numbers. You know, if you just, again, if you want me to share, this was channeled by my mentor, my friend Sidra. You know, 1 is unity, 2 is wisdom, 3 is communication, connection, 4 is expansion, 5 is creativity, 6 is vision, 7 is harmony, 8 is consciousness, 9 is peace. Then you can go on to 10, completion. These again, just when I look at the time, you know, right now it's exactly 9 p.m. I think of consciousness, and a little bit of a sidetrack, but yeah, just something I feel like I wanted to share. But like I was saying, you know, earlier, this is also a time of connection. It's also a time of looking at the people around you, looking at who you've created, who your soul family is. And I feel like a lot of us have done cleansing already, but if there's still people in your world that you have to lower your vibration to, and, you know, kind of, you don't feel like you can be with yourself, be yourself, then maybe it's time to take your power back and create space for new souls. But it really is a time for you. And like I said, there's so many things I'm doing right now to support. If you're local, I live in an area in London called Ruislip. And you want to meet me in person, I have a meditation circle I do every couple of months. I have the next one coming on the 27th. Reach out. It's free. We also have the full moon webinar on February the 1st. That's actually on the full moon I do with Stacey. Again, that's free, 90 minutes of healing. Membership. I love the mentorship program I'm doing. This is such a beautiful time to also get support. So if you are looking for a mentor, somebody to guide you, then that's what I do. I love what I get to do. It's a soul contract. Reach out. I want to connect so much more. This is why I'm doing so many things. I feel like It's a time for connection. It's a time to hold space. And yes, am I preparing for new beginnings? Yes, I am. Do I know what exactly it's going to mean for me? I'm very open to whatever that may be. And what if you could be the same? What if you could be open to whatever's coming next? However you're going to shine your light. What if you're meant to change careers and that will come over the coming months? What if you're being activated as a healer? Again, this is just this period of just being is the work to doing the work behind the scenes. What if you don't need to know? What if you can just trust? What if you don't need an explanation of where you are? What if you're being present and living in the presence is enough for right now? Do I feel this phase is going to last forever? No. Do I feel like there's going to be new beginnings and maybe our world's going to look very differently in 12 months? Yes, I do. But for now, be present. Be magical. Know and accept you're needed, you're wanted. And you're a powerful being. You're a soul that's been through so much. Then it's here to do something for this planet. It was never meant to fit in, because if you fit in, then how are you going to do something different? Yeah, a lot of people talking about period of ascension, moving from the third dimension to fifth dimension, all words, right? All labels that we love to give labels to things. Yes, and I feel like there's a massive shift. Even I talk about shifting from divine masculine to divine feminine. There's a shift. Give words to it for sure. But I feel like this is a phase of a holding pattern, and just be present. And even if you look at the signs of the calendar, right? The fact that the Chinese New Year is happening in February 17th, and spring equinox March 20th. We're moving into the year of the fire horse. Horse is all about moving forward. We were just leaving the year of the snake, all about shedding skin. There's so many clues out there. And when this phase of, if you want to call it the year of the snake, shedding skin, we've done so much of it. And yeah, like I said, don't spiritual bypass. If there is work to be done, then make sure you do the work. But be present. You're in the magic of who you are. Feel the power of who you are. Allow your connection with your guides to develop. Don't look for answers, but allow magic to happen. I'm sending you all so much love and light. Thank you for being here with me. I feel so very blessed. If you have any suggestions on what you'd like us to cover, what you'd like me to cover, please do. If there's any suggestions of what we can do differently, blessing, it's always a blessing. If I can help you in any way, guide you in any way, please do reach out. I'm sending everyone so much love and light, and really just wish you this magical phase of just being. Be present. I truly hope you can feel my love. Sending so much love and light. Speak soon. Bye for now.